So here's my question for you for this pod blast. When was the last time you gave 5-star service to your customer?
We strive for five. I'm your host, Eric Brown, and with me, Mr. Mike Jones.
Hey, we strive for 5, man. That's pretty good. You just thought that up right now, didn't you?
Yeah, you know, strive is a little powerless, a little fancy try with the tuxedo, man.
But it worked.
It does, yeah.
Worked. So, first of all, let's be clear about something. In the context of this conversation, the customer that we are speaking of today is not your external customer that's coming into your business and buying your services or however it is that you do business. The customer that we are wondering what level of service that you are providing is the internal customer, your team member, your employees, or however you refer to them. Because it is important to know right now that if you gave the internal customer a survey and they had to review how they're being treated in this business, how the culture is, what would they say? Would they give you a 1, a 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars?
So, Mike, your question then is that, or you're saying that the leaders of the organization have to be more concerned about understanding themselves better rather than others that they work with.
Eric, so for me, my message is you have got to understand yourself better before you can understand others better. The more I understand myself, I can now understand how others are even reacting to me because I know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and the reaction that it is creating in the environment. Now, most business owners, Eric, that I've had an opportunity to talk to, one of the things that I say to them right off the bat, you have got to be aware that you are a mood setter. That when you walk into the business and you don't have a great attitude that day, nobody in the business is going to have a great attitude that day because they are going to be connecting to the energy and the mood that you are bringing in the building. It is so important for you to understand that because it absolutely matters how your internal customer feels because it is going to determine how they treat your external customer.
Okay, so you're saying you got to bring some enthusiasm into the workplace.
And man, enthusiasm is absolutely a quality that is game changing. The most effective leaders on the planet are those who have enthusiasm. And enthusiasm is nothing more than a form of excitement. It is nothing more than a form of engagement. It is nothing more than a form of connectivity with the people in the building in a positive way. When you bring some enthusiasm to your culture and to your environment, work gets done in a fun way. More work gets done. People will get up in the morning and feel good about coming there to do the work that you are asking them to do. And they will do it with enthusiasm and a smile on their face, which is going to affect your external customer.
Okay, so how would you suggest that we go about measuring how we rate on a scale of 1 to 5 the internal customer?
Well, I think it's really important that the internal customer does that rating. But where I want to start though is I want you to come back to the understanding yourself better. The more and more you can understand yourself better, and we have all kinds of tools to help you do that through personality profiles, through doing some self-assessments and understanding that you can clearly wipe the smoke off the mirror. And for some of y'all, that's going to be a really tough thing to do. I get that. But in order for me to get better, I've got to raise my level of awareness of how I am affecting this environment and how my internal customer sees me. I'm telling you, after doing this work for over 33 years, one of the most valuable, powerful gifts that you can give yourself is to understand you better. And the more you understand you better, you are going to be able to understand others better, which will allow you to build better relationships and develop higher performing teams.
So it's probably real easy to be positive when the sun is shining or there's a rainbow out there.
For sure.
What about under pressure though, when so to speak, the shit hits the fan?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, Eric, and I mean, that's spot on, man. You just hit the bullseye. I tell people all the time, you don't really know what kind of relationship you have at home. You don't really know what kind of team you have at work until the storms roll in. And as Eric said, when the shit hits the fan, you will find out what kind of team you have. When the sun is shining, yeah, they can look like they're cohesive, like they're synergistic, like they're supportive, like they're positive. But when the shit hits the fan, when the storms come rolling in and those calm winds are no longer available, you're going to find out exactly what kind of team you have and whether or not you have a 1-star environment or a 5-star environment. So my measurement for you would be when the shit hits the fan, that's when my team shows up. Because people will play this game differently when they know who has their back, which means that we have developed relationships. We have developed trust in this relationship that we know when something goes wrong, I am not going to be judged or ridiculed. They got my back.
So if you go into a business and the culture is one that everyone is extremely satisfied, then the external customer will be more satisfied.
I'm absolutely going to bet my last dollar on that, Eric, because I believe your internal customer is going to treat your external customer the way that they are being treated. So if this is a command and control type of an environment where it's all about just getting a job done, then your internal customer is going to treat your external customer the exact same way. And I'm going to suggest that is not going to get you 5 stars from either of those customers.
Yeah, so I mean, the message is brilliant, Mike, and I hear you. So bring some enthusiasm to it, have more fun. The culture is one where everyone's having fun. The external customer is served in a 5-star way.
Right, and as a leader, whether we're talking about in your home, in a community, at the workplace, the leader has got to understand themselves before they can understand others, which means that I am accepting personal responsibility for whatever is going on in this relationship, whether I'm talking about my significant other or my team members at work or my relatives. I'm accepting personal responsibility for this relationship, which means that whatever is going on in the relationship, if I am not satisfied or fulfilled in the relationship, if I am not getting what I want from the relationship, my commitment as the game changer in this relationship is to continually change my approach until I get to the results that I'm absolutely focused and committed to.
So you're not focused outside yourself at all?
No, I don't control that, Eric. And the one thing that I really want you to know today is that the only thing that you have 100% control over is yourself. And if you accept personal responsibility to control the one thing that you have control over, you are going to be more successful at getting to your outcomes with less frustration, less disappointment, and less anger.
So you heard it here first, y'all. You got to know yourself in order to know others better to create that 5-star environment.
Yeah, and if you truly want to create a 5-star culture where the internal customer, when they are giving you a review, is giving you 5 stars, you have got to understand that it starts right here with you. So understand you better so that you can understand others better, which will allow you to build better relationships.
So what will you do today to create a 5-star environment and culture in your world?
I would say the first thing that you got to do in order to make it happen, baby, you got to get out on this edge, because it's out on this edge where the real magic happens. Because if you are not living your life out on the edge, you are taking your far